Hey third grade art friends, it's Mrs. Herbay. We're going to work some more on our family portraits this week. We're going to be adding color, and we're also going to talk a little bit about skin tone colors. So what you can do is you should have your family drawn, and they can be in a row, or you can even have where you have taller people in the back and shorter people in the front, and they can overlap, okay? And then what you can do is my favorite, and you guys probably can guess it, is if you have a thin Sharpie, you can take this and you can start to outline your details. Another thing that works really well also is a black colored pencil, and you can just sharpen it nice and so you have a nice sharp point, and you can see it gives you kind of the same look, and it just kind of makes things look crisp. So you can kind of decide which one you like better. I think possibly I might like the colored pencil better. So I'm going to switch off after I get this Sharpie. So I'm going to use the black colored pencil, and I'm going to outline the face, the ear, and for eyes, my son kind of has green eyes, so I'm going to put green there, and then try to put a little pupil there. For the hair, if you want to and you don't want to outline around the top of the head, you can kind of just go ahead and what I like to do sometimes is draw lines in the direction that the hair's going first, and then you can also color it and lightly color it in like that. This is my son John, and he has brown hair, brown eyebrows. Okay, so you'll go ahead and do that to all of your family members, and you can also color their outfits, right, depending on what you think they like to wear. I know John, my son John, has a pair of like blue athletic shorts that are like this. You can also experiment around with, if you use colored pencils, which is kind of nice, you can experiment around with dark and light values to give your artwork a little more dimension. So I'm coloring a little bit of darker value around the top edge of his shorts, but then in the middle part I'm coloring it a little bit lighter. And if I recall, these shorts have an orange stripe on the side, so I'm going to color that. Okay, so that's what you're going to do with your people. The other thing I want us to talk about is skin tone. And a lot of times when we draw people, it's a little bit tricky to get the color of the skin. So what we can do is, I'm going to just flip this over, and on the back I had sort of some practice of how I was drawing the people, like how I showed you guys. But if you have colored pencils, you can kind of experiment around this one, and if you don't have colored pencils that you think are going to work, if you send me an email through Canvas, I can send you some. You can borrow some. But so my skin is not quite that pink, So what you can do is over top of the pink, then I'm just kind of blending like a little bit of this light brown to kind of give this color. And you can play around with like, you can, if your skin is a little bit browner, you can play around with some different shades of brown, and you can practice kind of blending them as well. The nice thing about colored pencils is that they layer really nicely. So here I can get a little bit of a nice tanner value. There's another one. Let me see, I think I have a darker brown here. So kind of play around with the skin color of your family. Last week, you guys looked at different portraits of different families, and they came from all different races and nationalities. And so that's one thing I want you guys to appreciate and to think about. And so you can see how I've kind of played around with some different skin tones, and you can do that as well. And you can also play around with different ones that are different than what your actual skin tone is. I'm just kind of playing around with seeing what some of the colors will do by just kind of layering. So after you kind of play around with that, then you can, and you find sort of a combination that you like, then what you can do is on the flip side, then you can kind of play around with shading any of the areas where there is skin. And so I'm just going to put sort of like this lighter pink down, and I might put a little bit of this golden yellow, and I think that looks pretty good. A little bit of brown, and I'm just when I'm doing this, I'm just using a nice light value. So I'm going to try that on this arm here too. Get that. So I was using sort of like a light pink, and then sort of like a golden yellow, and then a little bit of this brown color. And I'm just working really lightly and layering those, and that looks pretty good. And then I'll just continue doing that. I'll finish outlining his legs and his shoes. And then I'll keep continuing. So go ahead and do that. And then after you get your family members colored in, we'll talk about the background. All right, guys. After you get all of your family members colored in, what you're going to do is then you're going to work on the setting. And that's where your family is. Okay? And so you can think about, I think last time I told you guys that my family was at the beach, and when we're at the beach we love to go on these really long bike rides, and I kind of drew a spot where sometimes we like to take a stop and take a picture with our bikes. And so where this is, so I drew a bike here, and then there's this railing, and where the beach where we go has a lot of ponds and bodies of water that come in during high tide. And so there's these bodies of water. They're not the ocean, but it's sort of called like brackish water. So there's like alligators and fish in there. And so they don't like you to, that's why they have these railings, to protect you from some of the wildlife. But you'll notice down here I drew like this little alligator, part of an alligator kind of swimming. And it's kind of fun. We like to watch to try to spot alligators. You see their little heads or their little eyes sticking up. And occasionally there's fish jumping up too, and there's birds. So I'm kind of, so I'm going to include all of those details here. And then so I'm going to outline this. And then once I get this all outlined, then I can color this as well. But the other thing is that feel free to, the colored pencils work best for mixing skin tones and coloring in your family members. But if you want to switch to another medium that you like better to do your background, that's okay too. It's totally up to you how you want to kind of finish the background. So I'm just drawing my details. And then, for example, if it was a sunny day and so the sun was shining, what I might do is kind of use this colored pencil to kind of give the idea of like the sun's kind of glowing. And then I might find like a light blue. I'm not sure if I have one here, but then what I could do is I can take like this blue and then I'm going to color in the sky. And if there's clouds, I might draw a few clouds. And then there's water here. I might choose a different colored pencil color. So I might draw, oops, I drew right into Mrs. Herbay's head. I'll just erase that off. So you can see, just take your time and kind of have fun adding all of your details. So there's that water back there. And so I might color, again, I might use some dark and light values. And again, with colored pencils, you can really layer your colors. So I might use a little bit of green with that turquoise. And a little bit of blue as I color this in. So I hope you have fun just adding color and adding all the details. Like, so for the railing, it's wood. So what I might do is at first just color it nice and lightly with the color pencil, like this. And then I can press a little harder. And then I can kind of put the wood grain in there from the railing, and then I could do the same thing kind of this way where I color in with a light value and then press a little harder. You can kind of see the wood grain there. This part is sort of some grass, but it's like a little bit sparse. And maybe mixed with a little bit of sand here. So you can see with colored pencils, you can really add a lot of details to your coloring to make it look really fun. So I hope that you enjoy adding color to your family portrait. When you're all finished, you can take a picture and upload it to Canvas. And I can't wait to catch up with you guys on Friday. And I hope you had a wonderful spring break, and I'll talk to you soon.